And the only reason she was brought up this podcast is because Ethan brought her up. He said her name minutes before I said it.
Well,
yeah, Hila was watching and she said, why didn't you tell her that she had powder on her lips? I was like...
And I was going off what he said. He goes, Hila watched the last episode and I was like, why didn't no one tell her there was whatever I had on my lips, powdered sugar or whatever on my lips. And I was like, I don't know, I said something blah, blah, and then I was like, oh, we should have Hila like sit in or be a guest because everyone thinks I hate her and vice versa. Because it is annoying to see those comments like, no wonder Hila doesn't like Trisha. And I never thought that.
Yeah.
Can we have Hila as a guest on our podcast?
No.
Why? Because people think like I hate her or she doesn't like me or something. Like I feel like we need to have like, because like, you know what I mean? Like I like Hila so much.
She could sit in, yeah. She could probably sit in.
You just said no, now you're like...
Just a snap judgment. She's busy. Don't talk about Hila. We're cutting this part out. She doesn't want to be talked about.
But Ethan brought her up first, and then I simply said that. And then Ethan, I don't know if he does it on purpose or what. He likes to just, the way I view things, like, embarrass me, right? Like, I brought up Hila, and he's like, don't talk about Hila. She doesn't want to talk about the show. It's like, what? And so I'm like, what? All you guys did was talk about us. She's a co-host on this channel, on the H3 After Dark and the H3 podcast. Like, she's, like I've always said, she's a public figure.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm serious. We have to cut this.
That's fucking crazy. Like, what's even the point? She doesn't want to be talked about?
Because she doesn't like that you're always bringing her up and saying how she doesn't like you and all this shit because it's not true and she finds it annoying because she doesn't want people to start thinking that, like, she doesn't actually like you.
Well, and I've always said that. I said that, like, if I ever cross the line, if I ever say something, just edit it out. But, like, you don't need to embarrass me. You don't need to continue to go.
Whatever. It's so fake, and that's why H3 is not what it was, because you guys are fake as fuck and cut things out.
Okay, you're like on a thing now. So.
I'm not. I just think it's so fake. It's so bullshit. It's like, oh, let's talk about everything.
Hila asked not to be included, and I'm respecting her request.
Then I'm not talking about anything personal anymore.
Okay.
I won't talk about Moses. I won't talk about me. Like, it's just whatever. Who cares?
Should we? Well,
Make it boring. Cut it. I didn't cut all of it. I literally couldn't care less. Let's just keep.
The main issue, when Ethan said Hila finds it annoying that you keep saying that she's rude and unwelcoming to you. I've never said that. The internet loves to bring up clips of me. Bring up one clip where I said Hila was rude or unwelcoming. Bring up one clip of that. Because on my channel, privately to Moses, privately to anybody, I've always said Hila is so welcoming. The opposite of that. I've always said she's so welcoming. She's so nice when I come into her house. Like she does. She like always, except for the past couple weeks, always greets me with, you know, like always, like literally find me a text. And that's why I told Ethan, it's so funny. Every time I challenge Ethan to like find something where he said in the last episode, like, yeah, I told you about the beauty episode that was happening today. I was like, where? Show me. He's like, well, don't worry, I won't find it. As opposed to if it was me and you're trying to find receipts on me and his DMs and my private Twitter tweets to him, of course he's gonna scroll through there and find it all day, or have his production people find it, because at the end of the day, it is his channel and his show, and honestly, I don't mind it. I like just sitting in as a talent, but whatever he presents to Dr. Drew, to you guys, whatever he has his researchers do, it's all in favor of him, always.
And you go, I came in, you start off always by saying, I came in and Hila didn't greet me and she was super rude. And Hila's like, that's bullshit.
I totally didn't say that. When
you
did I
say that
she
about
was
me
rude?
too. And she goes, that's bullshit. I'm always nice to her. I like her. The whole thing is stupid. And people are going to start, and
I never said she was rude to me ever.
You say she doesn't greet you nicely.
I've never said that about Hila ever. I've said that about you. I've never said that about Hila. Find that in the tape. Like, I hate when you say that stuff, just like last episode.
You always say it,
I
and
can tell you
it's
that there
not
was a
true.
beauty episode and you never find it, and then you just glaze over it. You're like, you did say that. Show me where I said that in a video and anything. I never said that once about Hila. Like, that's bullshit. I hate when you put that shit in my mouth. Like, that's so stupid.
I feel like you just did it now. You talk about how she doesn't like you. And Hila's like, I like her. I don't want you to keep saying that.
Fucking tapes. I said have her as a guest on because people think she doesn't like me and that I don't like her. And that's not true. And that's why I think she should be on. And then you're like, cut that. We can't talk about her. Oh, okay. She's too fucking good for this podcast. Cool.
But I do think Ethan pushes me to get this reaction of me walking out. Me walking out is something I don't like. Well, technically yesterday he said you should leave, which is even more embarrassing, right? Because I had said multiple times throughout the video, like, can we move on? Can we move on? So I wasn't crying and tearing up because they talked about me and my relationship. I'm crying and tearing up because I'm like, he's not getting this, and I don't know what this is looking like. I don't know what I'm looking like right now. Am I looking defensive? Am I looking... Because I wasn't on the defense. When this was happening, the back and forth, I realized what he was doing. I'm like, he's pushing me and pushing me. So we have this explosive fight, and I truly was like, I don't want to get up and leave because that's what he wants. Trisha storms out. And that's exactly what he put in this title anyways, because of course he asked me to leave. And at that point, like, I kept saying, like, let's move on, let's just end this. And then he kept saying, wait for the pizza. And then the pizza gets there, and he's like, I think you should leave. And then I think at that point, I didn't rewatch it, and I don't want to, like, blame it on blacking out. I really don't remember. I know I was screaming profanities, and I was hysterical when I got to the car. I was hysterical when I came home. I went to the bed and was just hysterically crying for a number of reasons.
So she always making comments about the family and how...
I wasn't. That wasn't it. I said, oh, Hila should be a guest on the podcast. And you're like, don't fucking mention Hila. She's the one we talked about. Oh, a fucking queen. You guys can talk about my shit all the time, but her, don't fucking mention her name. Dumb fucking bitch.
Okay.
I think we should just end it, honestly.
Yeah, I think so, too.
She's such a fucking bitch.
She's not.
And you are too. And you're a fucking cuck.
You
have no fucking backbone.
All right. You should leave. We'll talk later. Yeah, you should get out.
I am going, but we're not talking later. Fucking bitch, you too. I don't care. Fucking dump me. I couldn't care less. Your family's
It's not about dumping.